Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about the devil. You might have noticed that this video is in the philosophy playlist. That's because this isn't a video about religion. Let me digress slightly and explain why. I'm going to do that by discussing a phrase attributed to Friedrich Nietzsche. I don't know much about him, but I do know that he's known for writing the words, "God is dead." And I'll talk about that idea a little bit more in a future video. But for now, I just want to say that I don't like this statement. There's a couple of reasons. Firstly, it's making a claim about something with certainty. Now, religion can do that because of faith. And science can do that because of evidence. Philosophers should know better, and they should avoid making such bold claims. The second reason is because of the way I personally see Christianity. The way I look at it is that the Bible was written primarily for the people living in biblical times. And in particular, it was written for the men of that time period. So it makes sense that the majority of the important people in the Bible are men. So much so that the divine beings are represented as male figures too. God is the Father, Jesus is the Son, and all of the angels appear to be male too. I prefer to see the divine beings from the Bible in a different way. To me, they represent ideas. And in that light, I don't think Friedrich Nietzsche would have been so sure of himself had he seen V for Vendetta. In particular, the final encounter between Mr. Creedy and V comes to mind. Creedy asks V why he won't die, to which V replies, "Behind this mask there is an idea, Mr. Creedy, and ideas are bulletproof." So what kind of idea is the devil? I'm going to talk about 3 songs that shed some light on this question. I'm not going to go into any great detail though. Instead, I will pick out a few lines to illustrate the points I want to make. The first of the 3 songs is called "The Devil is a Lonely Night," and it's by the Pierces. I love this song. It has a wonderful contrast between the relaxing and upbeat music with the somewhat depressing lyrics. It all works really well in my opinion. The song is all about missing someone. Specifically, it's about an ex that you remember with great fondness. From the first verse, "Darkness falls and my heart calls." Darkness isn't representing evil here. It's the darkness of the night, and especially the darkness of a lonely night. So the line is about emptiness and regret. 2 lines from the chorus stand out. 2,000 hearts are breaking, breaking, but you can always take me to the light. I think the first of those lines refers to the fact that this tale is not uncommon. It could be many more than 2,000, because the devil, like God, is omnipresent. One more line that hits really hard is "I miss you like crazy." The devil is omnipresent, and maybe malevolent too. What a wicked game you play to make me feel this way. Sorry, that line's from a different song. The second song has over 31 million views on YouTube. That's not a huge number these days, but it's not surprising because the song is by a band called INXS. They were very well known when I was growing up. Everyone in Britain knew about them, even though they were from a faraway place called Australia. The song is called Devil Inside, and the subject matter of the song is fairly straightforward. It's about the idea that the devil is in all of us. And once again, this reflects the idea that, like God, the devil is omnipresent. Let's look at the individual lines from the song. He's fed on nothing, but full of pride. Pride can be seen as a virtue or a vice, but it's one of the 7 deadly sins, and it can be destructive. So it makes sense that it might be associated with the devil. Future uncertain, but certainly slight. Again, this would appear to be referencing our destructive tendencies. Sometimes it seems that all we want to do is kill each other, and everything else for that matter. It's hard to believe we need a place called hell. I think this line is a bit different from the previous lines. It's more direct. And I think it reflects the fact that sometimes people make life hell for other people. I don't think that's malevolent though. It's just that they don't care. People always care about themselves, but they don't always care about what happens to others. The third song is from a much less well-known band called Leafhound. In 1971, they released their debut album, Growers of Mushroom. It gave them a small but enthusiastic following, but the band had already split up. So their followers had to wait over 30 years for them to reform and make another album. I want to talk about one of the songs from that second album. It's a song called Barricades. Of the 3 songs, this is the song that most closely reflects my own thinking about the devil. It's a cracking song about things that get in our way, and it tells us how to deal with them. There's only one line about the devil in it. Look the devil right in the eye and send him where he belongs. So the devil is a bit like a barricade, and he can go to hell. The 3 songs make some interesting observations about the nature of the devil. I just have a couple of things to add. I mentioned pride, and I'm aware that pride was a major factor in the devil's fall from grace. But I think it's more fundamental than that. Pride goes together with faith and curiosity, as well as a few other human qualities. They are aspects of our nature, part of every one of us, inside every one of us, as Michael Hutchence would put it. While I was making this video, I was reminded of the film Bedazzled, the remake with Elizabeth Hurley and Brendan Fraser, not the original. Making the devil into a white woman and God into a black man made me smile. It's actually slightly ambiguous as to whether the black man is God or if he's an angel. In the credits, he's listed as Elliot's cellmate, and the actor's name is Gabriel Cassius. That also made me smile. I was also reminded of a scene at the end of Bedazzled, which illustrates another aspect of the devil's nature. But that's something I'll talk about another time. As Monty Python might say, the next video will be something completely different. It'll be a science video about quantum entanglement. I'm looking forward to making that. Let me know what you think.